So, good day, everyone. I am Arkeli B. Manaloyo, and today I'll be presenting something super interesting and relevant. So, this is the landscape ecology. So, let's proceed. So, what is landscape ecology? So, unsa man jud ni siya? So, landscape ecology is the study of how different ecosystems interact in the large area. So imagine, nature as one is a big system made of different species, forests, rivers, grassland, and also farmlands, even a highways and cities. So, tanan nga elements is all connected. So, dili lang ni siya pang bukid-bukid or pang kalibutan, but it also applies sa mga areas nga ginamanage by humans like sa katong sa katong syudad, like atong syudad, like farmlands or parks, and ang goal is to understand how the structure sa landscape affects diversity, water flow, climate, and human life. So, example, kung magputol ta of forest and himuna to og subdivision, like what happened to the animals that live there? So, asa man sila padulong? Then, that's the kind of question in landscape ecology that try to answer. So, let's proceed to the next slide. So, K concept. So let's talk about some basic terms para masabtan nato ni na science. So patch. So this is a distinct area like Osaka forest, wetland or grassland. It's a unique compared to its surroundings. Like example, a forest patch inside a sugarcane plantation. So the next is corridor. So corridor is a like passageway ni siya for wildlife. So it connects patches together like Morasiyag Bridge, like for example, a river running through a different ecosystem or three line roads nga mo serve is a patch for birds and insects. So the next is matrix. So mao ni ang general background area like farmland or urban areas like surrounding the patches and corridors. So the next is fragmentation. So fragmentation, this happen like when the large continuous habitats are broken into smaller parts, like tungod anang mga roads and buildings of agriculture. So it's bad for animals kay mawalaan manggod sila og access sa ilang other habitats. So next is why it matters. So ngano importante man. So diversity conservation, so daghang species na need large connected areas to survive. Kung putol-putol man gud ang ilang habitat, lisod sila maka-survive or maka-reproduce. Then the next is landscape use planning. So kani siya help us to use land wisely, like for example knowing where to build roads nga dili kaayo maka-disturb sa ecosystem. Next is a climate change adaptation. So, wetland, and green spaces regulate temperature, observe carbon, and manage water flow. Kung kabalo ta sa structure sa landscape, so we can plan better responses sa climate change. So it's not about saving trees, but also saving our lives. So next is we have the example. So example, Yellowstone to Yukon Conservation Initiative. So this is a protection in North America that connected to the area from the US to Canada. So US to Canada. So it helps large animals like grizzly bears and moose move so safely between the habitats. So dili lang sila confined in one place. So healthy po ang ilang population. So, healthy po ilang population. Next is urban green corridors. So, kani mo siya akong gipahatag na example is real life. So, sa Singapore is super developed but they manage to preserve nature. They have green connectors nga parks and tree lines walkways nga connected perfect for both humans and wildlife. Like birds and butterflies. So mangrove resortation like sa coastal area like sa Misamis or sa Surigao, like communities are tree planting. So these serve as a coastal butterflies and habitat patches for birds, marine life and mangroves, and also connect land and sea ecosystem. So next na po other example is agroforestry system. So, sa Bukidnon ni siya. So, farmer integrate trees in their craft fields which creates habitat patches for birds and insects. So, kanimo siya maka-improve din siya sa um, ma-reduce ang erosion and supports diversity plus additional is income pa jud sa mga fruits or timber. Next is roadside planning in Davao. So some roads now have a tree belts or green strip. So dili lang siya pang beauty but it also serve as a mini corridors for a pollinators like bees and butterfly. So these examples show how landscape ecology applies both developed and rural settings. Next is kay told you so unsa man ni pag-study so dili lang ni pang theory but so mo ni siya GIS so geographic information system so mo ni siya used to map and analyze landscape like meron siya og Google Maps on steroids and so scientists use this to see the patterns in land use forest covers and fragmentation. Then remote sensing, so using satellites, drones to gather data about vegetation and water bodies and even in soil health. So next is the landscape matrix. So number and formulas nga gina-compute to describe things like patch size, edge, length, or how connected to the patches are. So these tools help makes evidence-based and decision. So challenges. So of course dili ni siya perfect nga field but naay mga like naa siya mga issues. So urban expansion so like more buildings, more load, less nature mawala man ang natural corridors and species like get trapped into a small area. So next is climate change. So as the temperature rise, species are forced to move manggod but it disconnected the landscape. So asa man sila padulong. So the next one is a lack of coordination. So usahay ang science na ana but ang policy and landscape to use plans is wala nag-follow like importante man jud nga coordinated ang LGU like LGU farmers engineer and ecologists. So the next is um, community involvement. So sometimes people resist change, so education and participation is the key. So thank you everyone. So the closing is to landscape ecology is about seeing in nature as a big connected systems. It helps us to understand how human actions affect the environment of the large scales and give us tools to protect both diversity and human well-being. So it's not just about scientists and it's for planning engineers, farmers and also student o sa tanan nga concerns sa future sa atong kalibutan. So again, I am Markelly B. Manlaloyo and I hope you learned something new today.